Now we're joined on the line by one of Super Rugby's rising stars from the Melbourne Rebels. It's a big welcome to the show, Luke Jones. G'day, Luke.
Hey, mate. Thanks for having me, Dave.
No worries, mate. No worries at all. And first of all, a lot of our listeners listening in, Luke, are probably still getting used to the game of rugby union, being either AFL fans or cricket fans. But what's the biggest difference between rugby union and rugby league?
I have to say the biggest difference is the amount of rules, because league's very basic in terms of it's there aren't that many rules. It's six phases of attack, and on the fifth you've got to kick or you've got to do something, otherwise it's a turnover. Whereas in union you've got unlimited plays until you drop the ball or score a try or something like that happens. We have line-outs and scrums, which are quite important as to the set piece. In the line-outs, we go up in the air, and in the scrums, we push to retain the ball. And after that, we have rucks and mauls. So the backs will set it up and try and look fancy, while the forwards are in there doing their hard yards and trying to get over the ad line. And defensive-wise, in the union, you don't have to go 10 metres back, which is lucky. You actually just have to go behind the ruck and get off the line and shut down the attack. So, yeah, I guess the biggest difference is the amount of rules. It's a lot to take in, but I guess once you get your head around some of the basic things, then it's pretty easy from there on.
Absolutely, mate. And look, being a New South Wales boy, it's a traditional rugby state. How you found the transition coming to Melbourne?
Well, I mean, AFL is quite dominant down here, as everyone knows, but the great thing about Melbourne is everybody loves sport and everybody wants to get behind Melbourne in some way. And I think it's great that we're able to produce a rugby union team as the first rugby union team to Melbourne, and able to give Melbourne something else to cheer for. It's something different, and either people enjoy it or they don't. So, but it's great that, like I said, everybody in Melbourne seems to really enjoy it, and I think it's pretty exciting. Like all my friends that I've met in Melbourne and brought to games, they've either fallen in love with it or they just enjoy coming along and seeing what it's all about. So that's great.
Absolutely, mate. And we hear a lot with the other codes down here that they have to travel to Perth, and a lot of them complain. But you guys actually travel internationally and go to South Africa and New Zealand between games. How do you find that? Is it hard for you guys to get up for the next game after you travel out to South Africa or those places?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a challenge going to South Africa and New Zealand, and especially with the standard of players over there, they're quite good. But it comes with the territory. If you want to be playing in one of the better sides, so if you want to be playing the best you can, you take your recovery serious, and you take all of the hydration and all of the professional stuff that you have to do pretty serious. And with that, it becomes not easier, but you're able to manage it. You manage your workload and able to manage your performances. We're actually going to South Africa in a couple of weeks, and this is my second trip to South Africa. So and that's the thing. Once you've done it a few times, you sort of know how your body reacts and how everything goes and how the team's going to react to something like that. But really looking forward to the two games we've got over there. So.
Absolutely, and that's where you made your debut, if that's right, against the Cheetahs in South Africa.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this time last year I made my debut for the Rebels, and it was a great 80 minutes. It was we didn't win, but it was a lot of fun and something I'll never forget.
How different is it when you go travel over there?
Yeah, well, South Africa's rugby mad. They absolutely love it. It's Melbourne's equivalent of AFL to them. So. They're all behind it, and you get a lot. I think you get a lot more recognised over there than here. In terms of walking around the streets and stuff. But again, you got to be very careful in South Africa. There's a lot of crime, and you just got to keep your wits about you a bit more.
Absolutely. Now, you're the first forward in Australian Rugby Union to sign a full-time professional contract. while still a schoolboy with the Western Force back in the day. How was that? You must have been like the coolest kid in class.
I think I had a lot of mates that kept me grounded, which helped. But overall, it was great because I had some sort of security knowing what I was doing after school, which I know a lot of players are always in the back of their mind thinking, "Oh, what am I going to do, or where am I going to go?" So I think that's what was so great about it, and it was great that the Western Force backed me at such a young age.
Absolutely. And what's the process with that, Luke? Because not everyone obviously comes from the schoolboys and makes it to rugby union. Is there a draft similar to the AFL?
No, there's not a draft. It's very very different to AFL in that sense because I guess you get scouted by the five Super Rugby teams at such competitions like the national schoolboys competition, and then going forward into the Australian schoolboys, guys can get noticed and guys can seem to stand out, and it's sort of those guys who they do get a deal, whether it be academy or full time, and if they're up to the challenge, then they keep moving forward. If not, they may go back into the club system for a couple of years, and in a couple of years' time, they might be ready for the super level.
Great. You're on the cusp of selection for the Wallabies, which are currently they're having games against Wales and Scotland. With yourself, what's the biggest challenge with trying to crack into the national team?
I think it's just rounding my game and getting the best out of every aspect of my position in the game. I guess I've been playing in the second row. I've been playing six. If I can start working on my 8 skills as well, it's another position where if high representation comes my way, they're able to then put me into different positions, which is great. It gives them good flexibility and are able to use me in different positions and different key roles. But if I can just keep honing my skills and keep working on the things that I need to work on, like my speed and coordination and things like that, then that's just going to help my armory and help my all round skill to get into those sort of sides. Absolutely.
And have you sort of set a goal for yourself that you want to be part of the next Rugby World Cup team for the Wallabies?
I haven't that many specific goals just yet. My focus is really on playing for the Rebels and playing every game and making the most of my efforts on the field. That's sort of my focus at the moment, and I'm going to just keep. We've got 3 games coming up, and that's our last 3 for the season. So my focus is purely on those 3 games and giving the best performance I can.
Absolutely. And look, the Rebels have got a big game coming up against the Queensland Reds in a fortnight.
Right, yeah, we do.
And look, the Reds are still in contention for that wildcard place in the conference ladder. How big is the rivalry between the local sides in the Aussie conference?
Oh, it's massive. All the guys know each other, so they know how to get under each other's skin. And I think that's great. I think it's great. I look forward to playing the Aussie Derby matches more than any because, some of the young guys that are playing in those games, like Michael Hooper and Liam Gill, these are guys I've played with since school. So it's great to be able to play them at such a high level. And if Reds are going to come down and they're going to be firing, ready to go because, like you said, they are in that contention for the finals. So it'll be a great game at Amy. I'm really looking forward to it.
Great, and so are we, mate, because last time you guys played, it was at Suncorp, but it was a nail-biter with you guys just going down to 11-6. Are the boys feeling confident?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're definitely building on last year, and we're definitely building on the last performance we had against the Reds. And I remember that game very clearly because I thought that we had that in the bag because I just thought we were playing so well and our defence was so good. But I guess we just need to put in more, and we need another good performance to have a good crack at a good team like the Reds.
Absolutely, mate. And for all the fans out there, the Rebels take on the Reds on Friday the 29th of June at Amy Stadium. Kickoff is at 7:40, so get on down and support the boys. Luke, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thanks for joining us on the Dave and James Show.
Dave, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.